Hello, I'm Abigail Doust, and I'm equipping you to make an impact in your conversations. And today I'm especially excited to hit a pressure point that I hear my students talking about. When you are meeting with someone and they are pretty caught up talking about another person and change that they desire to see in another person. And this is a common issue because people do impact us and we don't live this life alone. And there are complicated relationships that keep us from the goals that we want. But it is challenging, I think, to coach someone when they are talking a lot naturally about someone else and what they can do differently. And so today I just want to give you 4 quick tips that I think could be helpful to you when you're talking to this person. The first is to help them evoke awareness about what it's like to be them. Sometimes they're so quick to think about what they wish this other person would do that they actually haven't taken the time to process. What does it feel like to be me? What is this bringing up in me? So asking them, what does that feel like? Why is that hard? That sounds really hard. Show empathy, but help them to evoke awareness about what kind of values does this clash up against for you? What is most bothersome about for you about their behaviors? How is your life negatively impacted? And let them talk about themselves, because it's so important for them to bring it back to them and why it matters to them so they can focus on what, kind of peel back the layers to what's really going on. Oh, this is what's happening. The core of this is blah, 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 whatever it may be. The second thing that I want you to think about and ask questions about is power. What do you have power over? What do you not have power over? I think of the serenity prayer, Lord, give me the wisdom to change the things I can and to let go of the things I can't, and the wisdom to know the difference. And so ask questions about power and about focus. The other person that they're talking about is not in the session with you. They are not in that coaching session or that discipleship time. So you can just say, hey, Ben's not here. Brenda's not here. I'm here with you. What can we do? What can we do about this? What do you have power over? It's so important. The third is to acknowledge boundaries, because sometimes people have lost a healthy sense of me and we, and there are all kinds of reasons for this that naturally fall into. COVID is a really good reason. We have been entrenched in each other's lives, and if you are living with people during COVID, then I can promise you you're having conflict with people during COVID, and that kind of blurs some lines. Suddenly, my husband hasn't been going to work for a long time, and then that's really driving me crazy. But there can also be family of origin, lack of boundaries. Maybe you haven't had boundaries ever in this relationship, or maybe some sort of medical issue has come up that has kind of blurred the lines, or financial things that have blurred the lines where you need them in a different kind of way. And so talking in a healthy way, kind of evaluating, where are there lines that distinguish between you and this other person? What are the benefits of establishing more boundaries, or what would be the costs of establishing some more boundaries? And just having that conversations about benefits and cons, me and we time, and peeling back the layers of boundaries can be hugely beneficial. And fourth, but certainly not least, I encourage my clients to communicate with the people in their lives. So often we can assume that people must know how we feel about this from our snarky comments or our silent treatment, but the reality is oftentimes people don't know how we feel, or they don't hear us talking about it in a vulnerable time. We're only kind of yelling or snarky. And so it's really important for you clients to take some time to process and identify, what do you really feel about this? What do you want to say? What would be healthy to communicate to this other person, and bring it up. Assertive communication is classic. It's essential. It's something that needs to happen, but sometimes people forget. So I hope that these 4 things might help you if you're talking to someone who is pretty caught up blaming or talking about the other person. Remember that you focus on them and evoke awareness in them about what it's like to be them, to talk about power and where they have power, boundaries, where they are or are lacking, and lastly, how they could communicate and hopefully get to a point of resolving conflict with this person. I hope that's helpful to you. I'm equipping you to make an impact. Let me know in the comments what you think about this. I'll talk to you more soon.